Hi, it's Stacy from Families with Grace, and today I want to talk about how to be a calmer parent. So, I have 8 tried and true strategies for being a calm parent. Nobody goes into parenthood thinking about how irritated and grumpy they'll be. We have visions of being a calm parent, but then the baby is born. You add up no sleep, a huge adjustment to taking complete care of another person, and the pressure you feel on all sides, and all calmness just goes flying right out the window. And that's just the early days. Parenthood is a hard gig. If anyone tells you it isn't, they either are not a parent or they're flat out lying. Being a calm parent is challenging, even for naturally calm folks. I think I'm a pretty calm person naturally. I don't get angry easily. My husband is the same way, but parenthood definitely puts that to the test. We failed and messed up. However, in the past 12 and a half years of parenting, I've learned a few strategies that help me be a calmer parent, and those are what I'm going to share with you today. So, the very first one is pray about it. Everything starts with prayer, right? Well, at least it should. Sometimes we get off track and we try to do things on our own first, and it never works out so well. Even being a calm parent is something we can ask God to help us with. He blessed us with these children. He knows their hearts and our hearts. Our Father knows our challenges and our struggles. He is just waiting to help us. You can literally pray before you start the day for God to help you be a calm parent that day. I pray that God helps me to be the mom my children need each day. Calmness is definitely included in there. Praying in the moment is also important. I can't say that I do this every single time my irritation starts forming, but I try to pray in the moment as often as possible. Sometimes it's just a short, God help me to deal with this prayer. A bonus to that is that in the time it takes me to pause for a few seconds to pray it, it also breaks the momentum of my irritation. Number two, listen to the right music. Music is powerful. I have shared a few times the difference music makes in my own life. The right music helps me to be a calm parent. That might sound a bit lame, but it's true. So, my go to music is contemporary Christian music. Or maybe you enjoy hymns. Maybe country gospel music speaks to your heart. I truly love all the types of music I've mentioned, but whatever it is, listen to something that calms you and helps you focus on God. In the car after school, I usually have on like Air One radio or the message on Sirius XM. My kids can sing along to almost every song that comes on. When they were younger, I'd leave the kitchen radio turned on almost all the time to Christian radio. It's really difficult to yell at or lose patience with your children when you're singing or humming along to Christian music. True story. Even now, I listen to it when I work most of the time. For articles that require more concentration, I usually switch to classical music. But then, even when I'm not listening to music, the songs are still running through my head, and that helps me to be a calmer parent. Number three, remind yourself how old your kids are. Have you ever gotten mad at your child for acting their age? I sure have. We definitely have to teach our children how to grow and behave, but we also need to understand what they are truly capable of. For example, I'd love to tell my 9-year-old to go organize his room, but he still needs some guidance. He knows toys can't be all over the floor and that dirty clothes go into the laundry room. However, he is 9. He also needs specific instructions for where to put some toys or reminders of the organization we helped him create for them. My 12-year-old is mature for her age and always has been. Sometimes I have moments that I start to get irritated with her for doing something irresponsible, and then I remember she's 12. It calms me down. I know that she is still learning. Expecting our children to act more responsibly than they are able to is only asking for trouble. We can remain a calm parent when we stop before we snap at them and remember their age. Remembering their age helps me to switch from anger and irritation to teaching mode. That's what my kids need most anyway. Our kids need us to take time to teach them rather than just get upset with them for not doing something correctly. Number four, set reasonable expectations for your children. I get very frustrated by people who do not do their jobs well or correctly. We've all had times when we had a task we shouldn't have had to do because someone else slacked off. When someone doesn't do the job we expect them to do, it's incredibly frustrating. The same is true for our kids. When we set expectations for what we've asked them to do, we get frustrated when they don't follow through. Sometimes it is completely their fault and they didn't do what they were fully capable of doing. Those times they do need to have consequences. Other times, though, we expect them to do a better job than they are able to do. Before we start getting upset, we need to be sure we have reasonable expectations for what our children can and should be able to do. Over the weekend, for example, my kids were working together to clean up after dinner like I had asked them to. My youngest didn't complete his task completely. My oldest, my daughter, started to just sigh and do it for him. I stopped her and we showed him how to complete the task. It was a win win because now he knows how to do the task and we can expect him to do it in the future. And nobody got upset in the process. Number 5, take a breather. It'd be nice to say that if you use these strategies, you'll always be calm. But that's not true because you are a human and so are your children. Some days are hard when you're exhausted and your children seem to find every button you have and push it over and over and over and over. Sometimes the best thing you can do is take a breather. If your children are babies or toddlers, this may mean just putting them in their crib for 5 minutes while you go to another room and just pause. Then they're done that. If you have preschoolers, this may mean you sit them down with a 20-minute show and you don't interact. Then they're done that too. For older kids, you can send them to their rooms or tell them you need alone time for a few minutes. Guess what? Then they're done that. I've sometimes taken an extra couple of minutes switching out or hanging up laundry just for a breather. Taking a couple minutes away from the moment can help you calm down and then add in some deep breathing and prayer time, and it works even better. Number 6 in our strategies for how to be a calmer parent is ask for help. You were not made to parent alone. Asking for help is okay. I was fortunate when my children were very small that both my parents and in laws lived within a few minutes of us and loved having time with grandkids. I utilized that help. If you don't have that, maybe you have a friend you could trade off babysitting with. And don't forget to ask your spouse for help as well. Nope, it shouldn't be the case that one of you is helping the other when you're both in this together. But at the same time, your spouse doesn't know what you need without you asking. Sometimes my husband has noticed my need for time away before I even have. He'll encourage me to go to our room or leave the house or whatever I need to do to regroup. Other times, I ask him to take over so I can have a minute. The same has been true in reverse. Sometimes to be a calm parent, you have to ask for help and get away from it all, even just for 20 minutes alone in the shower. Other times, to be a calm parent, you need someone to take items off your to do list and fold the 2 loads of laundry that are sitting in the dryer. Just ask. Number 7, try to embrace an attitude of gratitude. Nothing impedes our calmness like getting angry with our family. Sometimes we get angry because of all we do for them that they don't seem to appreciate. I've struggled with this before and still do from time to time. Have you ever had a thought starting with, why does nobody else around here ever fill in the blank? Then you know what I'm talking about. Yes, our families need to pull their weight. We shouldn't let chores go undone or do them all ourselves. However, shifting our perspective helps alleviate anger and, in turn, makes us a calmer parent. For example, as you're conquering that ever growing pile of laundry, take a moment to thank God for the family you have to wear those clothes. Start adding in other things too, like thanking Him for the clothes themselves and the ability to wash them in a washing machine. It may be cliche, but once we start counting our blessings, we calm down, our attitude shifts, and we are more at peace. Finally, number 8 in our tips of how to be a calmer parent. Apologize when you lose your cool. Chances are really good that you are not going to be a calm parent all the time. I'm certainly not. And sometimes our children need us to not be calm to get a point across. Other times, they don't deserve our wrath. And it's those times that we need to go back to our children and apologize. It's a learning moment for our kids, but it also helps us remember the lesson we learned as well. Our children learn that nobody's perfect, how to apologize when we mess up, and that love covers it all. We have a memorable moment and feeling bad about acting out of anger, so we are more likely to stop ourselves before doing so again. Simply saying, I'm sorry for how I reacted goes a long way. Thanks so much.